Demands and criticisms of our schools, teachers and students are real, and they're relentless. Today is an important day to recognize an impact that Denver Rotary has had on progress, the progress of learning, the progress to support new ideas, the progress to help young people make a change to better themselves, better their communities, and better their world. This week's Keyway gives a background of a school that we partnered with, adopted, in 2006. They have been and continue to be a grantee from our Denver Rotary Club Foundation. In conjunction with another grantee, the Harmony Project, here today represented by Arnie Langberg and Dick Zellner. Together, they melded this process of changing, enhancing, and redefining how kids today learn and how traditional subjects can be taught in creative, imaginative, and effective ways. Today, you'll learn firsthand about how DCIS is unique, focusing on connecting its students with the world through knowledge, skills, and service. Yes, very much like Rotary ourselves. Now they're recognized as one of the outstanding Denver public schools. Its formula was asked to correct, yes, even heal, a community whose schools were rated at the very bottom. 2 new DCIS schools, quite a task for Dan Lutz, past president, and Stephen Parce, current, and their talented team to assemble a new faculty implementing a new program called Integrated Global Arts. This program allows each and every student access to creative strategies for academic learning. These schools are a laboratory for our future. Revolutionary change is sitting next to you. We help 2 of our grantees, DCIS and Harmony, to implement this change to curriculum design and overall school structure. These schools have been stripped of what has been chronically failing for years and is now fostering a commitment to make courageous changes that will help kids become better students, better people, and better world citizens. Help me welcome fellow members Dan Lutz and Stephen Parce to introduce this revolution and our future. Dan Lutz.
Thank you, Doug. And it's great to have this opportunity. I really appreciate that we can do this. I wanted to talk a little bit about, actually, Doug, you've done a great job in introducing what we're doing, which will cut down what I say. This is going to be a little bit of back to school today because one of the things that we really value is student voice. And so we want our students to be able to talk about what we're doing. And if they can do that, then we're doing our job as well. But that's what's kept me doing this work in international studies at the pre-collegiate level for a long time, because I just love to see what our students do when they find meaning in what they're doing. So I'm going to just give a brief introduction to what's going to happen. First of all, just in terms of process, you have at your table at least one student who is going to be talking about what she or he does, what their school is like, what the experience is like for them. You also have planted at your table a secret agent for us, an adult support who is going to help the conversation, but that person also has some suggested questions that you can draw upon if you would like to have your thoughts stimulated a little bit so that you know what to say or what to ask the students. I would suspect that your students may not give you a lot of chance to do that because they'll have lots to say on their own. But we're going to have most of this time just you're talking with the students. And then at about 10 minutes to 1, I'd like to introduce Stephen Parce, principal of DCIS. Stephen, would you stand? He's going to be doing a debrief, a reflection with you. So he's going to ask you what struck you, what came out of this experience for you in talking with the students. So you have to pay attention to what the kids are saying. So let me just say a few things here. Okay, so just briefly, a long time ago, Donna Hulteen and Bob Kapelke came and talked with me about wanting to see that Rotary wanted to have a new centennial project, and they wanted to take on Baker Middle School as a project, not knowing that Baker Middle School was closing. But then they found out that DCIS, Denver Center for International Studies, was actually going into that school and starting a different school. So that's how the school started, and this whole thing was so synchronistic in connecting DCIS as it started right away with Rotary. And now we have three schools, as Doug said. We've got our DCIS at Montbello, and we have students represented here from that school. And we also have an elementary school, DCIS at Ford. And I look forward to a time when they can come and present and share with you, too. A lot of good things that are happening at these schools. So as Doug said in his introduction, we really have a shared mission, very similar missions, and very similar commitment to serving the world and making it a better place. Service is really important to the students, and what's most exciting about that is just how that makes a difference in their own lives as they start to find meaning in what they're learning in the classroom and in through their classes. So you can look at our mission there. It's very similar to the style and the energy of Rotary. By the way, at your tables, there are materials from DCIS at Montbello and DCIS down on Delaware and 6th. And so as you are talking with the students, feel free to look at those. And if you want to take any of those along, you certainly can too, just so that you can get to know what you are helping to support. Also, our DCIS design, I'm not going to go through a lot of this here. There's a lot of details about how this actually is implemented and runs through the entire school. It's not just something that's after school, although there's a lot of activities that happen after school. Interact Club, which a lot of the students here belong to at DCIS, you can talk to them about that. But this pervades who the students are. And I will say that our schools move towards a graduate profile. This is what we want our students to look like and to be like when they graduate. And we start with that actually with Ford right at early childhood education and in backwards planning. And what I will have here briefly, and you can talk more about this with your students, but Rotary really does a lot of things for DCIS. And it's not just the grant provisions that helps to support these activities, but what I think is most important is how many of you have really helped out with the students in very specific and personal ways. And there are some overlaps here, too. Doug mentioned Harmony Project. We also have been very much involved with Denver Kids, and that goes clear back, as I was saying, to Donna Hulteen in our early connections there, the mentoring and everything else. So it's really a strong connection. So as you're talking with your students, let's see what they have to say, and then at 10 minutes to 12, then Stephen will draw those conversations to a close and see what you learned. So go ahead, and students from DCIS, give it a whirl.